Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of The Thing Is. Today I have with me a special guest. I have with me Alex.
What's up?
Who's in the hot seat today.
I'm hot.
Yeah, so as usual, we're going to be talking about relationships.
Okay.
Now, you're not married, am I correct?
No, I'm not married.
Okay, perfect. So today I want to discuss, because obviously there's a lot happening on social media right now regarding relationships and men and women and how they think and trying to kind of understand each other.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I want to ask you right now, is there any benefit to men getting married in this day and age?
I think it's 50-50.
50-50, okay.
50-50. Mm-hmm. It depends the type of man and what they're looking for. So, I mean, there's always benefits to getting married, like
Right.
financially, like emotionally, spiritually. It depends how you look at it. And
Yeah.
stuff. But there's always a benefit to getting married. It's like a union. Like, you meet someone, you're really into them and stuff.
Yeah.
If they compliment you, you compliment them. Two heads are better than one. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, marriage is always beneficial, but it has to be done in the right way. You can't just marry anybody.
Okay,
It
so
has
what's
to
the
be-
right way?
What's the right way
Yeah.
to marry someone?
Yeah.
There is no right way. I think based off of you and your partner and what aligns for both of you guys is how you approach it and stuff. I mean, it depends. There's so many aspects to look at it from, like your religious background, educational background, your
Yeah.
financial background. There's different ways to pick, to pick it apart. But
Yeah.
whatever works for you and your partner is how you approach it and stuff.
Okay.
And I always say the two partners should really like introspectively look at each other. I mean, parents always have a say, friends have a say, but you kind of have to ignore that.
Yeah.
Like they can be advisable, but you kind of have to ignore that. It's
final
what's-
decision
It's
is
what's
yours.
going to
Yeah.
work between you two and how your outlook is. And you go 5 years, 10 years, 25 years. You look into the future of how you guys are going to coexist together, right?
Right.
It's a business transaction as well too, right?
Thank you. It absolutely is. And I think that's actually very important.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people, when they get married, they look at the whole love aspects. We're in love, so we want to get married.
Yeah.
But like you said, it is a business transaction.
It's a big business transaction.
It really is, because you sign a contract and then you go at it together. Now you're joined, right?
Yeah.
Until you decide to dissolve that contract, if you decide to dissolve that contract.
Yeah.
And I think that's a point that a lot of people miss. But do you think that there is benefit to men getting married? The reason I'm asking this is because a lot of people, when they get married, sometimes divorce happens, and then the man has to, the couple have to split their assets, and there has to be some type of separation, right? And so a lot of people feel like the man loses out the most when it comes to these things. So some men, because of that reason, feel like they don't want to get married because they feel that there's no benefit. There's actually more loss to them than there is gain in terms of getting married. Would you agree?
I would agree to a certain extent, because I think for men, the loss is more economical or financial, I should say.
Yeah.
Whether it's assets, whatever they have together.
Yeah.
It depends what country you're in as well too. But for the most part, like the Western world, the men tend to lose out a lot more than, I wouldn't say the women, but they target the men's assets, right? Because the women and the kids have to be taken care of and stuff. But I think marriage, it grounds you. It's a good thing, like especially if it's done correctly. And like, let me stress on the correctly part. There is no correct way of doing it, but like I said, it's between you and your partner. You have to pick the right candidate. Sometimes you won't know, right? But there's a feeling, like if you're marrying someone, you're marrying them. People have their reasons, but for me, if I'm marrying someone, I know why I want to marry that person, right? It has to be beneficial to me, like you're saying. The question you're
So it's
asking
not
me,
just love.
it's not just love. It has to be beneficial to me. Am I grounded? When I come home, am I at peace? Are my children taken care of?
Yeah.
It's my home taken care of.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, I'm not old school, but I feel like I'm out there. I'm doing what I need to do. When I come home, I don't want no problems.
Yeah.
When I come home, I need to be able to be cool. I need to be able to talk to my partner and be like, yo, hey babe, what's up? Like, what's going on? How's everything? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The old school way, people frown upon it because it's 2023 and a lot of women are modern.
I
They're
don't
modernized.
think I think it's actually good. You're calling it old school. I'd say traditional, and
Sorry,
I actually really like that. I think the traditional way does work to an extent, but I think there also is an element of modernness that comes into being married, because obviously the woman has probably a lot more say than what she used to have back in the day. And so I feel like as long as you can speak to each other respectfully, I feel like open dialogue is what helps to make the marriage work.
So balance.
Balance, absolutely.
So what for women, you asking me, now I'm asking you.
Ask me.
Yeah, what's the benefit for women now? Because a lot of women, now women, they work more. A lot of women having less kids.
Yeah.
They're focusing on their career, their ventures, whatever they want to do. And so they're out there more.
Yeah.
And women are earners. They're making more money than
Yes.
ever.
Yeah.
So as a woman, what's the benefit for you?
I'm really glad you asked me that. Thank you. I think there actually is a lot of benefit for women. Although some of us choose to make our own money, there's still that financial security that we get. I mean, going from boyfriend and girlfriend to husband and wife is quite a big jump. Boyfriend and girlfriend, it's like you can break up tomorrow. Whereas if it's husband and wife, I feel like you're more enticed to work it, you know. It's like you're committing to this lifelong thing.
Yeah.
And so there's that security that women like. Women love security, okay? So I think not every man can necessarily give a woman or let a woman feel that secure without having the ring on their finger. That ring for the woman symbolizes a lot, and it's very strong for women. But having said that, for me personally, if I was to ever get married again, I would never do a white wedding.
Why?
I wouldn't.
Why do you say that?
Because I just feel like I feel secure in myself enough to not have to feel like my partner has to sign the contract in order for us to say that we're connected, because I've been through marriage now and I see that anything can happen. So that signing on the contract doesn't necessarily mean anything. So if I was going to get married, I would want to do only the traditional, because I feel like that's the most important thing, is between God and the two of you. What's the contract got to do with it?
I like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that gets lost a lot. I think we've been, especially if you've been abroad, Canada, US, UK, Amsterdam, wherever, Europe, you lose yourself in a sense and you become more westernized.
Yes.
And a lot of women, I had a friend and he was with his partner for 10 years since after high school.
Yeah.
10 years, he's spent so much time investing into this relationship, and he did the traditional route. But she didn't appreciate that. She still wanted that white wedding to validate her. To
Yes.
make it, I feel like we've been taught, or we've been dumbed down to think that's the standard. Like this is what the pedestal is.
If you haven't done that, then
If you
you're not
haven't done that,
married.
then you're not married.
Yes.
But we're African to
Yeah.
the roots. Like, what happened to our traditional beliefs and values?
Exactly.
What happened to the family aspect
Yeah.
of it? There's a construct for it. And over here, it's deep. If you really look at the way they operate over here, in terms of the mothers and the fathers, there's deep knowledge that gets passed down. But I feel like it's being lost because of things like social media. And just the influence from the West is kind of taking us away from our roots and how we used to be and stuff, right? And as Black people, I feel like we need to really stick to that. So I do respect that traditional aspect of it. But for my generation and from what I've experienced, most of my friends, they do the white weddings. And they shun away from the traditional, right?
I can understand and appreciate why, because obviously they've never been there. And I think most people don't ever think of divorce when they're getting married.
That's a very, very big point. And why do you mention that?
Because so since I've started doing this podcast, I've had so many people like in my DMs send me messages, just speak to me when they see me and just say to me, I'm going through something similar to what you're going through. And they have never thought, you don't think, when you're getting married, you don't think one day potentially I could get divorced. Right? You don't think of that. And because you haven't thought about that, you don't think about all the repercussions that come with that. And so you don't necessarily you don't plan, I'm not saying plan for a divorce, you don't plan to get divorced, obviously you want to stay married, but you don't ever think about it, you don't consider it. Yes. And it does come back to bite you in the bum sometimes, because now you're talking about having assets that you have to split, thinking about how, what you're going to do custody-wise if you have children. There are a lot of other things to think about, and I think these are actually real things that you should think about before you even think about getting married, because anything can happen. People change. As much as you love your partner and you get butterflies when you see your partner and it's all fun and games, things happen, right?
Things do.
People change, even you change, And so I feel like you always have to look at both sides. And recently someone said to me, when you get married, there's a 50% chance whether it's going to work or not. And then the person said to me, that's too high risk for me. Really? And I thought about it for a second. I was like, wow, that's really deep.
That is deep.
That is deep. It's a 50-50 chance whether this is going to work or not.
I still think you should take that leap of faith.
You're a believer in marriage.
I believe it. Because at the end of the day, it grounds you.
It does?
It does.
Absolutely.
Especially if you want to raise a family.
Absolutely.
It grounds you. If you have that ideology that you want to be traditional, you want to have children, I think marriage is the way
Definitely.
to go. But marriage looks different for everybody.
Absolutely.
It's very different.
Absolutely.
You go to the Indian culture, they have arranged marriages.
Yes.
A lot of them are successful, some are not.
Yeah.
Ours is different. The Western way is different. But I feel like marriage is still something that you should consider. You think about it, whether it's financially, whether it's emotionally, spiritually, like however you see it, I still feel like it's very important. And we're going towards, I think this thing is like this hookup culture. It's different.
Yeah.
It's different now, like, what I mean? Especially with the younger generation. So people are not even looking 5-10 years into the future. They're looking at now.
Yes.
Right? And I think that's the problem. You have to look into your future. You have to look, where do I want to be 5 years?
Absolutely.
Where do I want to be in 10 years?
Absolutely.
Me and this woman or this man, how are we going to coexist if we really feel like we love each other, right? And people don't have those discussions, right? So can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
You mentioned something maybe a couple of minutes ago and you were saying women want security.
Yeah.
So I seen this thing on social media, and it's like this triangle. It's saying, is it finances, your personality, or what was the last one? So finances, personality, and no, finances will be security. Personality will be another one. I can't remember the last one, but there was three options, and they were asking, what would you pick in a partner?
Right.
So would you pick your finances? Would you pick security in terms of your personality, and then looks. Sorry, looks was the other one. So those three: looks, how you're physically attracted to somebody, their personality and their emotional well-being, and how are they financially. For women or for you, what would you pick? You have to get rid of one.
I have to get rid of one. I would probably get rid of looks.
You get rid of looks?
Probably, yeah.
Why?
Because for me, looking at what I would consider handsome or beautiful, that changes over time. A person's personality can change the way that they look to you, right? So someone may not necessarily be appealing to your eye initially, but once you're able to vibe that person, right, they begin to look different to you. Looks fade, anything can happen. People have accidents in marriage and don't look the same. Like, these things change, but when it comes to having security and having a connection with someone and being financially stable, those are things that you need. You don't need to have the looks. Person can grow on you. That's why arranged marriages can work. You can have met someone for 3 days and get married, and your marriage can still work. You may not have been attracted to them initially, but love grows, and that's a deeper type of love than the superficial love that everybody talks about, that Hollywood talks about. That's not everything, because trust me, those butterflies stop flying at some point. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then the real stuff kicks in. So I would get rid of looks.
Yeah, you guys listen to her. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah. So tell me, if you were getting married now, would you ever consider doing a prenup?
Yeah, that's in the question for sure. But it depends the caliber of man you are and how your finances are. So if you're a big man and you have all this money and you have all these assets, definitely it's the smart, logical thing that you have to do. But I think for anyone, it's a discussion you need to have.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
just to protect yourself. Like
Yes.
the question previously was like, do men gain or lose, or men tend to lose more from it and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think as a man, you need to protect yourself.
Yeah.
And my advice to anybody that's trying to get married or going into these things in these serious relationships and stuff is something you have to consider.
Yeah.
It's not always necessary. Everybody's different, but I think it's a discussion that needs to be had. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think a prenup is absolutely essential. When I look back now, I think so, because things can get messy. And like you said, you have to protect yourself, both for the man and for the woman.
Oh, 100%.
I feel like if you've started on a certain path and you have certain things, I think it's only fair that you should be able to leave the relationship with those same things.
Yep.
But, anything that you've done jointly together then should be split evenly if that ever happens. But I think I think people should think about prenups a lot more. I think sometimes we feel like prenups are for people that are really rich and they have their companies and things like that. But no, I think prenups are actually for everybody. I think you need to protect what you have, even if it's something small. I think you really should
Even
consider.
for the common man.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a prenup is absolutely essential. That's one of the things that does come up when I have spoken to people who have been in a similar situation to myself. They wish that there was a prenup in place.
Are these people in similar situations to yourself? Are they black?
Yes.
Or identify as black or African?
So I'm laughing because when you said identify as black, I just imagined a white woman identifying as black. Sorry, too much social media. Yeah, most of the people that watch me and stuff, they are black, yes.
Okay. So you feel like these conversations in our community, we don't have enough of these conversations?
No, we don't. We absolutely don't. We don't talk enough. In fact, when I started this podcast, I didn't know it was going to go as deep as this. Like, I've had some serious conversations with people. I've had people come out of the woodworks and say to me, I've just left a marriage of 22 years. I've just left it. Like...
You see, I can't fathom that. 22 years, that's a
Yes,
long time.
but it is. But what's the point of being in a relationship where you're literally miserable and you cannot be yourself? Is that how you want to live the rest of your life? Another 22 years of that. I know, but it's just a number at the end of the day.
It is. But it's a long time.
It is, but that doesn't mean you should stick with it. Just because my arm is broken doesn't mean I have to keep it in the cast forever and ever and ever.
Do you feel like people give up more now than before?
No.
Because our parents used to like grind it out.
I know.
Good or bad.
I know, but let's look really logically at this, right? How many of them are genuinely happy and how many tolerate each other?
Mostly toleration.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is that healthy though?
No.
It's not. See, I've had a lot of people say to me that, you should stick at the marriage because of your children. But, someday your children are going to grow up and they're going to be gone. And it's going to be you and your partner sitting down looking at each other and you hate each other. It's realities.
It is.
It is realities. And, someone who's been in a relationship for that amount of time is not walking away on a flimsy note.
No.
They're not.
So you have to be convicted enough to walk
There
away.
has to be something that warrants that. I'm telling you. Anybody that walks away from a marriage of that length of time, there's something that is deeper than what you see surface level.
So then we talk about sacrifice.
Yeah.
So what's sacrifice to you?
Sacrifice to me is having to give away too much of yourself.
What's too much?
So almost like you're unrecognizable anymore, or you can't be your whole self, your true self. That for me is a miserable place to be. Like, if I cannot be myself, I'm going to be miserable. Because for me, God has put stuff in me that is meant to be birthed. And if you're suppressing that in me, I'm miserable and I'm not doing what I'm here to do. So even though we are married, I can't live like that. I literally can't, because now I'm miserable. I'm not the version that I'm supposed to be.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't lose that much of myself.
So with that being said, for men and women, I feel like men want to be respected.
Oh, yeah.
And women want to be loved. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to marriage, where do you draw the line of respect and love? Mm-hmm. Because everybody's definition is different.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like with a lot of relationships, like from my experiences and friends and different people, my parents and people that I've seen and stuff, they blur the two lines too easily and stuff. Men my dad is old school. You respect me. Like,
Yeah.
No matter what.
By force.
Yeah, by force.
Yeah,
like, you know what I
yeah.
mean? And then my mom is very soft. It's like, I'm not getting this love. So, you know, I'm not in it no more. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not here mentally, physically, emotionally. I'm not here no more. So where do you really draw the line in terms of that? Because for marriage, the topic is marriage.
Yeah.
For marriage's sake and stuff. Is it true that for men we want to be respected? I mean, women want to be respected
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well
of
too.
course,
But
yeah.
I feel like women want to be more so in the love department. Women want to be loved and stuff. So where do you draw the line in terms of love and respect for you?
For me, when it comes to relationship, there has to be respect on both sides. I feel like there is a lot to learn. I got married very young, so I definitely had a lot to learn.
How young if
I was 24 when I got married.
that's not bad, man.
Yes, see, you say that, but true. What at the age that I am now, when I look back, I'm like, girl, you know, what are you doing? Like, no, take the dress off. Like, no, like I didn't know myself. Okay, that's for me. That's an individual thing, maybe. But for me, I didn't know myself enough. I had so much more to learn about myself and so much more to learn about a man. So I didn't realize the ego that men have. See, when we talk about ego, we sometimes see it as a negative thing, but it's not necessarily a negative thing. A man's ego needs to be rubbed every now and again, right? You have to know, and you have to know how to do it. It doesn't have to be obvious. Oh, I love you. It doesn't have to be obvious, but there are ways you can stroke a man's ego and, do you know what I mean, just do it tastefully. And I feel like that's some of the stuff that perhaps I didn't know then. I didn't know myself. And so there was a lot of like, oh, this is so hard. At the beginning, it was lovely because, you know, we're in love and got the butterflies. But then as time goes on, you realize that you have so much to learn. And definitely those lines do get blurred between love and all the other things that come involved with a marriage. I just feel like it's something you have to work really, really, really hard on, and it's an individual thing. But there comes a time when you have to say, if you have to say it, I feel like you should have the space to say, I cannot do this.
You cannot do this. Do you think our parents have a bigger part to play in terms of like the education and the grooming and preparing you for all these things?
Oh, absolutely. Honestly, I'm going to say something that you guys are not going to be happy with me right now, okay? I'm going to say it because I'm just being real, okay? A lot of our parents have not done well. They have not taught us properly about marriage. All we've seen is the outside of what their marriage looks like. But actually, we don't know the depths of certain things. We're not taught to, you have a boyfriend. This is what you shouldn't do. Do you know what I mean? We're not taught enough about what goes into a marriage. Talking about money. How many times do you even see your parents talk about money?
Never.
They don't. So these are things, now you go into your marriage and you have no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
But why? These are important. Money is an important factor when it comes to being married.
It's a culture thing because I feel like it's taboo.
Yeah.
Like, sex is taboo.
Oh,
my parents
let's
have
never
never
talk
had
about that one.
They've never had that conversation with
Yeah,
me.
never.
Finances, they never had that conversation. Even that emotional support.
Exactly.
They've never had that conversation with me.
Right, exactly. How many Africans even show, let's be real, external love towards each other?
My friend, I went to his house one time, and you're bright. I hope you're watching. And this guy, he said he's never heard his father say I love you to his mother.
Right.
He said even when he's reading the Bible, when the word comes up, he stumbles on it.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's like, is it really like that for us? Like,
Yes.
it's serious. Like,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
serious
yeah.
thing. Like,
We're laughing, but it's a big thing. It's major. If you're not taught about these stuff, then it's almost like you never get a leg up. Because every time someone gets married, you're starting from ground zero because no one's taught you anything.
Yeah.
It's like learning about money. No one's taught you about saving, but here's some money, go and make it last till the end of the month. No one's taught you about saving.
No.
And then your next generation, your children come up, the same thing. No, you don't teach them about money. They don't know. Here's some money, let it last till the end of the month. You haven't taught them anything. So every time you're starting from the bottom and trying to work your way up. Go back to the bottom. Do you know what I mean? There's no leg up at any point within the whole relationship with someone. Like, we need to share information, and I feel like we don't talk enough. We don't talk about sex enough. We don't talk about money enough. No. We don't communicate enough. There's so many things, and these things are key in marriage. Without them.
So with that being said, what do you think some of the solutions to these things are?
It's-
Like, how do we progress? We have to be a progressive people. So
Yeah.
how do we move forward? Like, how do we better ourselves? And if you have children, how do we equip them with the right tools to be able to be successful and to even think about marriage? Because it's a thought first,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
absolutely.
how do you navigate that?
So I think communication is just the first key to everything.
Okay.
It's about talking about everything, even the little things, talk about them. And just be open. I feel like if you have a partner, you should be able to talk about everything, whether it's embarrassing, whatever, it's your partner, you should be able to confidently speak about certain things.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you have children as well, you should do certain things in front of your children. You should hug, you should kiss in front of your children. I mean, within reason.
You think so?
But yeah, like just pecks on the cheek. Good morning. Do you know what I mean? There's a peck on the, do you know what I mean? So that they can see these things, and these are things that they will also aspire to. But I mean, if your children have never seen you do that, I mean, I've never seen my mum and dad kiss.
I agree 100%.
Do you know what I mean? I've never seen it. And so for me, when I got married, I was like, I was really shy. Do you know what I mean? I was really timid. So I was like, what is this? What's going? And I found it very hard. And so from that stuff would make me cringe.
Exactly.
And it shouldn't. So for me, even telling my children, oh, I love you, was a hard thing for me to do because I'd never heard somebody say it.
That's true.
So I always see these white people on TV saying it, but I've never seen black people say it. Like, what's...
That's a good answer, man. I can't beat that. It's a very good answer. Like, so with that being said, like, I know it's deep, but so in this 21st century, it's 2023, dating culture, social media, everything's all just a mess. Everything's all mixed up. How do you maintain that focus? If you're interested in someone, for the people that are watching, if you're interested in someone, how do you maintain that interest? Because distractions are numerous.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you lock in? How do you zone into that person that you love to elevate it to the next level without being, casted away and distracted? So
yeah. I think you have to understand the other person. I think it boils down to love language as well, which is a topic I want to cover in another show.
It's 5 or 7. There's
Tell me, go on.
it's supposed to be 5 for them.
Really? Tell me.
Some people say there's 7.
Okay, go on.
Affirmation, touch, like gifts. Shit.
Yeah.
You have to come back. You gotta come back to me.
He's gonna think about it.
I gotta
We'll
think
be
about
right
that.
back.
I will be right back. Yeah, but it's supposed to be either 5 or 7 of them and stuff. Acts of service.
Yeah.
That's another one. I nailed 4, but I'm thinking the wheels are turning in my head.
Okay,
but
so do men have love language?
for sure. Of
Okay.
course.
So what's your love language? Ooh, hey girls, I'm putting him on the spot.
I'm in the
It's
hot
fine.
seat.
I did tell you it was a hot seat.
Move is hot. For me, I like, as much as I hate to admit it, I like words of affirmation. I love you. Like, you say it. Black men don't hear that enough.
Right,
Like, you know what I mean? I love you. My parents I never heard that from my parents. I never really heard that growing up. So when you're telling me that, it's new to me. And that's something I had to like adjust and accept. Like,
I understand.
This person really loves me. Like, what do I do with this love?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Act of service. That's how I am. If I come home and I'm, you know what I mean? I work hard and I come home, I'm tired. Like, not even, it's even old school to think like that. Like, the food is ready. Like, just be my peace of mind. Like, small things like that.
I actually think that's really lovely. For the right, I'd love to do that stuff. I think it's brilliant, beautiful.
Exactly. Like, it just puts you in a zone where you're taking care of. You come home and you leave everything at the door.
Yeah,
you don't even want to bring it inside your house.
The peace is
at home. Like, you just zone into your wife, your kids, whatever. Your girl. You don't have to be married, but your girl, whatever. You just zone in, and it's like, oh, I'm here. Like, I had a rough day today. I don't even want to deal with none of that stuff. But I want to deal with you.
Right.
And you guys, like, I want to deal with you guys. So it's your home. You want to come into that space and be at peace.
Yeah.
So acts of service. And I mean, men like getting gifts too, man. Like, for sure, man. Like, women expect flowers and gifts and bags.
I actually don't like flowers.
You don't like? Okay.
I don't. It's a waste. I'm a different kind of chick, so
there you go. So I mean, it's subjective, right? But women like gifts.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Gifts, it symbolizes 2 things: your financial ability and your thoughtfulness.
Right.
So that's what gifts symbolize. So if I know you're going through a rough time. Let me see what Della wants. Like,
Yeah.
let me think. Oh, she's into this. She's into that.
Right.
Okay, let me go get something that's gonna cheer her up and stuff. So it's two things and stuff. But men like that too.
Yeah.
I feel like men don't talk about that a lot. But men
that's what
do.
I'm saying. This is like the first time I'm hearing this. I'm
For
really
real.
interested in what you're saying.
Man. All you men out there, don't lie.
Yeah.
You
Don't
guys
be lying.
Like
Don't be
gifts,
lying.
Man. Yeah, come on, man. Like we're not the only one that's supposed to be giving.
Yeah.
We also want to receive as well too, right? So it's both. It's like the reception as well too.
Yeah.
Right? And you have to be comfortable to be able to receive.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get gifts and I'm like, man.
Me, I'm the same, you know. What do I do now, man? Yeah.
You know, but it's something you have to kind of like learn and you have to accept.
Because you're not used to it.
I'm not used to it.
Right,
exactly, right. So there's different ones, and for me, those are like the ones for me and stuff. But it's a combination of everything. Acts of service, gifts, affirmation, and stuff. So those are my big three and stuff, and just respect. For me, as a man, respect.
Yeah.
If you respect me, you get everything. I think that's how most men are. If you respect a man, you'll be beside him. You'll be supportive, no matter what, whether it's good, bad, rainy days, whatever. You'll be beside the man, and vice versa. And if a man, you love a woman, she'll be there for you.
Exactly,
like, you know what I mean? But we struggle with that because a lot of us, we don't even know. The women don't know what respect is and the men don't know what love is.
Yeah,
so
and it makes it difficult.
It makes it difficult. How do you navigate that, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's 50-50. Right? So, yeah.
Definitely.
How about you?
I think for me, my love language, I think, is time.
Time.
Yeah.
Like time spent together.
Yeah, time spent together.
That's the last one. That's number 5.
There you go.
That's number 5, yeah.
Yeah, it's time for me. Like, okay, gifts and those things are nice, but for me, it's you taking time out of your day just to send a text, just to say, how are you? Or something like that. It just makes me feel like you thought of me. Do you know what I mean? In the midst of the whole craziness of the day, you took this little bit of time and just showed me a bit of time. It could literally be anything. Just giving me that time, for me, that's just my love language. I just think that's beautiful. It's more than any gift to me.
Just the one thing, time.
Time, the most important. I mean, there are other things. I have this huge thing about fragrance. I love fragrance, so,
like, how a man...
Yeah, smells. If you have a good smell, I'm going to hug you for a long time. I have this thing about fragrance. I love smells. I really love nice smells.
Do you recognize some of them? Like, when men...
Yeah.
What's your favorite one?
I don't know. I don't know what my favorite one. But for me, when I spray fragrance on myself, I spray men's fragrance, women's fragrance. I don't care. I just spray whatever it's.
But
nice.
as a man, you can't do that. I can't really put. If
I
put a woman's fragrance on me, I'm in trouble.
You are gonna be in trouble.
Who's that? Like,
I know. For me, I just pick whatever's nice and I just spray it. I don't know. I just love nice smells. So that's my other love language, I guess. Okay. Yeah. But time. I think women really appreciate you taking that time. I think because it shows some level of commitment as well. Because if you haven't got time for a woman, then what are you doing with her? So to give her that bit of your time within your busy day just shows her that you care. So there's a lot attached to it.
I like that. It's simple, but it's powerful. Right
He's trying to big me up a little bit here.
Of course, big ups. You guys know who this is, yeah? Like, come on.
Stop, man. See, now I'm feeling embarrassed. See, I don't do compliments very well.
But compliments, speaking of that, compliments, that's another one. You have to compliment your partner.
Yes.
Yo, babe, where you going? I like that dress.
Yes, it's
you look
true.
Nice. Like, what are you saying? Like, little small things like that. And you
it's true.
But women don't like to do that for men.
Really?
No, man. If I go to the barbers and do my hair, I get a lineup and stuff. Like, I come home and you look at me, you don't say nothing.
No, we can't be doing that.
You be thinking like,
I would like to do that. I'm like,
this barber, like, yo, what do you do to me? Like, no. But women, you gotta compliment men too. And I feel like it's lacking. Women are expected to be complimented, but men don't really get that.
Yeah. So it should be a two-way street, right?
For sure, man. Yeah, you look nice. Oh, you going to the gym? Oh man, what's going on? Like, little things like that.
It makes you just feel good, huh?
For sure, and you want to go harder for your partner.
You know? Yeah. I get that. I get that.
Definitely. Yeah, it's cool, man. Like, I mean, with the way the conversation is going and stuff, I think maybe we should dig a little deeper and stuff. And you have the experience. I don't mean to go there, but
Yeah, no.
am I cool? This is a safe space
Yeah.
for
No,
me to go and stuff. What 3 things for anybody that wants to like dive into marriage, black, white, whatever? What are 3 things you would say? Like your 3 pieces of advice. What would you say?
I'd say number 1, make sure you understand your partner, understand their background, where they're coming from, understand how you want to move forward together in life, so that you're always on the same page, and regularly just re-talk about these things, because things shift, things change. So I think it's something you should be continuously talking about. What are your goals? How you're going to raise your children? What can I say is a 3rd thing? And I think just remember to date each other. I think is really important.
Touch me. You know, I've had a partner and she always drove that point. And I think I missed it. It went over my head. I'm like, what do you mean date each other? Like, yo, we've been together for X amount of time. What do you mean date each other? But that's important.
Yeah, it really is,
you gotta like spark that.
You have to remember each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just in the house, where's my food and the day-to-day stuff, but actually remember what it's like to go out and have fun and why you got together in the first place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to date. And she used to drive that point all the time. Like, it really went over my head. But now
you'll know it for the next one.
I know it. I understand the significance of it, because it's like, you do have to validate me. Like, you have to date them. Like, you have to take them out
continuously.
Yo, wear that dress. We're going out tonight.
That's it.
We're going over here. Like,
make you feel good. Yeah.
You have to be like that, and that's how you keep things fresh.
Right.
Like, and you keep her attention, because her attention is key.
Yeah.
Right? So
absolutely.
If she's invested in you, then you're good, man. And vice versa, right? So
that's a
good point. I like that.
Thank you.
Cool.
And thank you for taking off my show and asking me all the questions.
I did?
No, I'm joking.
It's 50,
I'm teasing.
No,
it's good. I actually like it like that. I like it to be a conversation. I don't want to be the one to just ask all the questions and you answer. So I like the back and forth, because then it makes it a well-rounded program. So
definitely.
Thank you for that.
Are you out of questions?
I'm out of questions. We're done for time. We've been talking for like almost 40 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that your time?
I think so.
Cool. Cameraman, what do you think?
Cameraman's like doing this behind the camera. He's like, wrap up.
We wrap up, but we good. Okay, so how do we close this? Like, in conclusion, like, how do we close it?
Okay, so the question I asked you at the beginning, I guess I'll ask you again to finish up.
Yeah.
Is there benefit to a man getting married?
100%. 100% there is.
There is.
But it has to be the right one. And you have to take time to dig deep and not just find the right one, but you have to question it.
Yeah.
Is this the right person for me? Financially, emotionally, spiritually, like whatever way you want to look at it. I don't care, you're black, white, whatever religious background you have to ask these pressing questions, because it's an investment. Marriage can break or make you and stuff, especially if you're planning to have children. It's definitely something you need.
Yeah.
You don't just want to have baby mothers and baby fathers and things like that. Things happen.
Yeah.
Right? And like you were saying, you touched on the divorce a little bit, but I feel like you have to really dig deep. Do your research. Know your partner.
Yeah,
know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
Don't do it because your parents or your relatives or your community is telling you this is the right thing to do. I know people that spent $100,000, went and put on the biggest lavish weddings, and a year later,
I ain't spending that. I ain't.
That's an arm. Like,
listen,
leg,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they're not together.
Yeah.
And it breaks my heart to see that. And it's scary.
Yeah.
I will say, as a man, marriage is scary to me.
Yeah,
because as a man, you're used to, like, you're a man. Like, go out there, you have a roster of women, and that's game. But when you really want to shed everything and focus on and zone in on that one person, it's like, damn, I'm really like giving everything up for this one person.
Yeah.
Like, this person has to be it. But imagine how the woman's feeling.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Imagine women are a little deeper when it comes to that
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah. We're overthinkers for sure.
So it's scary. I will say that for me, it's scary. And I think about that all the time. I'm like, man, do I really want to do this? Like, how am I going to do this and stuff like that? Like, you know what I mean? So it's always something that's, it's not even the back of my head, it's in the front. And I think deeply about it and stuff. So when I do, I won't say if, when I do get married, because I'm a big supporter of marriage.
Yeah.
When I do get married, it has to be the right person.
Absolutely.
I have to put everything on the line. I have
love that.
I have to lay everything out.
I love that.
You get me and you get all of me.
That's it.
Nothing less, nothing more. And I expect it to be like that as well too. So
Nice.
yeah, that's cool. How about you?
That. I love that. For me, oh gosh, now you're putting me on the spot.
Hot seat.
Hot seat, yeah. For me, like I said, I would get married again, but it would there's conditions involved. Let's put it that way.
I like that.
There's conditions involved. Like it has to be the right decision. It has to be on point. So that's probably a whole topic for another conversation. I'm sure you guys want to know more, huh? It sounds juicy, huh? I'll share it with you one day. I'll give you my thoughts on it another time.
Yeah.
But today, that's the end of today's show.
Yeah.
I thank you so much for coming on today.
You're welcome.
I love that you've been opened.
Oh, for sure.
I love that you have spoken. You've challenged me as well. I like that. That's really good. So thank you. I appreciate it.
I thank you for bringing me. Like, this is cool. It's crazy. I came to Ghana and like, man, I used to like. Can I say something?
Yeah.
I went to this place, Crazy Burger, and I just seen her sitting down, and I'm like, yo, this is that YouTube girl. I know. I've seen that. I've been watching because I've been trying to like figure out how I'm gonna maneuver. I was born here, but I've been away for so long. So when I was coming back, I'm just watching you. What am I? I'm watching all types of people, and I'm trying to figure out like, how's Ghana? Like, what am I gonna expect? And I was watching your videos, and then I came to this place, and then I see you, and I'm like, oh shit, this is her. Like, you know what I mean? And it's been cool since. So in retrospective, it's like, never in my wildest dreams. I'm from Canada. I'm from Toronto, and never did I think I'd come here. And now I'm sitting in this hot seat, being interviewed by you. So
we're
it's
friends
crazy,
now.
man.
We're friends, man.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. You guys watch, support, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Like, she's cool, man. She's the real deal. Like, it doesn't get any realer than that. So I thank you for that. Man. That's cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Guys, that's the end of today's show. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, I was going to say challenge for some reason. Anyway, this is this channel. Please do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Don't forget to also like, comment, and share this video. Until next time we are out. Nutitfafa.
Yeah.